Card. It gets done on a Tuesday. It's live over on its own channel. We were talking about Money in the Bank. We was talking about Wrestling Shop Live. We was talking about so many things. The conversation just goes wherever the conversation goes. And I really enjoy doing the Wrestling Escape Pod because it gives me an opportunity to just talk about anything and everything, really. So I do get a little bit stuck into different topics and different things, different conversations. And really, it's an hour of just us going wherever we go. So, you know, it's pretty fun. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. But I do, of course, apologize for keeping you waiting if you weren't over there joining us with that. But yes, we are here for NXT. What I want to do is just have a look, see what the lineup is tonight, because what I haven't done is had a chance to really do that yet. I know that we've got not Raw Underground, NXT Underground. Okay, here we go. It's the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. And we're on the road to Great American Bash. Prepare for a night that promises to shake everything up in NXT. Okay, I'm here for this. So we're going to shake everything up in NXT. So we've got the Creed brothers taking on the Dyad. That was interesting last week. Obviously, there's big dissension within Schism. The Dyads are struggling, aren't they? And this, oh my God, is this the loser leaves? This is the loser leaves NXT match. I forgot about that. Damn, loser leaves NXT. Right, okay. We need to get pretty serious here. We've got a loser leaves NXT match. We got Roxanne Perez taking on Blair Davenport. That's pretty exciting because they've been building for quite a while, that feuds. Obviously, Blair Davenport has been the mystery person that has been going around and attacking people in the car park. So the fact that we're getting this match tonight is pretty good. Mustafa Ali against Tyler Bate. Now, obviously, this is part of a bigger story because Wesley is involved. Mustafa Ali wants a title opportunity. He didn't get that. Instead, he's facing Tyler Bate tonight. So that could be pretty fun. I don't think that'll be anything that will rock my foundations, but we're already getting a loser leaves NXT match. And then we've got Eddie Thorpe against Damon Kemp in a NXT Underground match. If you don't know what that is, Raw Underground was a concept that took place on Raw, and we would go to the back where we had a ring set up just amongst all the kind of stuff that was being stored in the backstage area. We had a ring set up, and we had no ropes, and it was like MMA fighting. There was people taking people down, throwing in ground and pounds, big striking, kicks, judo throws. It was very MMA. It was very different. People stood around the ring, banging on the ring, had like a fight club feel. And really, the fights tended to be over once the ref, which tended to be Shane McMahon, decided that that's it, they've had enough kind of a thing. I think it could be cleaned up a little bit. We could probably introduce some actual rules, and I think that the ring without ropes is okay, but I think we could come up with maybe some sort of better structure. I like the people being around the ring, banging on the ring. That was pretty fun. I thought there was something there that you could do something with. I sort of felt like it needed to be its own show, though, rather than just let's go to the back and see what's happening with Raw Underground. Should we pop to the back, see what's going on with Raw Underground? I think it needed its own roster. It needed its own championship. It needed its own characters. It needed its own storylines. It needed to be its own entity. But I felt like there was potentially something there. I actually thought that giving it the last half an hour of Raw might not have been the worst idea. So you could build up to the main event of Raw, which would be the first half an hour of the third hour. That would be your main event time. That would then finish by half past that last hour. And then the final half an hour you go to Raw Underground. Now, ratings might bomb. I mean, it really just might not have worked, but we never did that. We never tried it that way. We always would just jump to the segments, and I just sort of felt like it was very hard for it to get any sort of traction. It was very hard for it to find its own footing, you know? So we never did that. It ended up not working. They only did it a few weeks. It wasn't like something that ran for like years. It was only there for like a month or two, and that was it. So yeah, I'm down for this. I'm down for seeing if we can make this work tonight, because maybe as a match type it could live on. Maybe if this were a bit like the Fight Pit, you know, maybe as a match type, this is going to be something that could work, and we will get some out of it. So really looking forward to that match tonight. The other thing as well, and I'm going to jump into the chat. The other thing is that we're going to hear from Bron Breakker. You might remember that last week's show ended with Bron Breakker coming out of the office, like shouting at Sean, saying that we will find out what that's all about this week. So that is also something that we've got to get an answer on. What is the future? What is happening with Bron Breakker? So lots for us to get our teeth into, lots for us to enjoy. The other match that I can see that has been announced for tonight is Lyra Valkyria. She is going to be taking on Jayne. And what I really like about this is that these have all been built over a good few weeks. These aren't just matches. And actually WWE has really moved away from that. These aren't just matches that have come out of nowhere. Like, quite often in the past, we would have just got matches for the sake of matches. But if you look at Lyra and Jayne, that's had a good few weeks build. If you look at Eddie Thorpe against Damon Kemp, that's had a good few weeks build. And of course, Gable Steveson is going to be involved in that. If you look at Creeds and Dyad, well, we know that's loser leaves. If you look at Roxanne and Blair Davenport, that's had a good few weeks build as well. If you look at Mustafa Ali, Tyler Bate, that's had a build. Everything that's been announced, and there might be the odd match that gets just chucked in, but everything that's been announced here has had a really good build to it. So looking forward to NXT tonight. It really is one of my favorite nights of the week for wrestling. I'm so into NXT. I feel like I went through a wobble where I like stepped away from it, but since I've come back, it's just continued to like grab me and suck me in and bring me in, and my appreciation of it has just gone from strength to strength to strength to strength. Where I said the other week, I think I'm at the point now where for me this is my second favorite period of NXT right now. I love the original Black and Golds, which is when we like go to Full Sail till the pandemic. I mean, that's a good chunk of time that we're talking about there. It's probably a good 6 years or so. Not all of it was amazing. There was obviously a few ups and downs. I'd say more towards the end. But the start and the middle of that run in particular was incredible, was amazing. Like, you know, where you've got the 4 horsewomen and you've got the Undisputed Era arriving, you've got DIY, you've got Revival, you've got, you know, Alexa Bliss, Blake and Murphy, the Vaudevillains. I love the Vaudevillains. The Ascension, Authors of Pain, Sammy, Kevin, Balor, Samoa Joe, first time around. Like, Aleister Black as well. Asuka, of course. I feel like that was such an incredible time. Tyler Breeze, when he was doing the selfie thing, that was amazing. So many good memories of NXT. I think the when it first started was pretty fun with Daniel Bryan, like that first season, but I don't think the other seasons kind of reached that same level. And so like the game show sort of aspects was okay, but I would say I'm preferring what we're doing right now. And then like the stuff that we had during the pandemic, the 2.0 stuff, I mean, that for me is where we're really struggling. We went through a good few years where for me I was not struggling, but it was just nowhere near as good. But I'm so relieved to say and so happy to say that I feel very different now. So yeah, we're in a good place with NXT at the moment. Want to try and jump into the chat, of course, and catch up with you guys. Big Time Baxter said, Daze All In has sold 75,000 tickets, according to Wrestle Tickets. Before last week, it was at 67. There's a big jump coming off a well-received Forbidden Door, Punk Return, and Money in the Bank. Very good. Very good. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing show. I have spoke to loads of people that are going to that show at Wrestling Shop Live. I was just talking to Triple T about how, for me, I'm struggling with finding that passion for AEW that other people have. I want to find it, but I'm just really struggling to find ways in. To be honest, I'm struggling to find ways of getting into the show. I'm not. I don't know. It's really difficult. Like, I want to enjoy it, but I just can't find a way in. I can't find a way in. Like, it's not a problem for me to watch Dynamite. Like, I'll tune in tomorrow and I'll hope for the best. But I just find more often than not, I come away thinking that has not really done it for me. And I'll tell you something that really, there was a couple of things that opened my eyes. One of the things that opened my eyes was I was at Wrestling Shop Live, and I've told this story a few times, but I was on the Underground and I was going back to my hotel, and there was a guy, it was like midnight, right? And there was a guy that worked on the London Underground, and he saw my jacket and it was NWO, and he was like, NWO, you're a big wrestling fan? I was like, yeah, I love it. And he was like, oh, so am I love AEW. And he just went off on it about AEW. He was like, oh man, Omega, Danielson, like they're just killing it. MJF, what a heel. And he was just really going off, and he was so passionate. And I think it was really eye-opening for me, actually, to talk to someone that was so passionate and so into it that it sort of made me look at where I am with the product. And I'm just nowhere near that. I'm nowhere near it. And it's got nothing to do with like being an AEW hater. I just can't find my way in. I watched it week after week after week after week after week, but the stories just have not grabbed me. They just haven't grabbed me. And I really do genuinely want to like it. So I will watch it again tomorrow. We will watch it. And, definitely got something out of Forbidden Door. I didn't think Forbidden Door was a bad show by any measure. I thought it was fine, solid. I thought there was some really good moments. But again, there's people that are telling me it's one of the greatest shows of all time. I'm nowhere near that. I'm absolutely nowhere near that. So I don't know. I don't know. I really want to enjoy it, but I'm really enjoying NXT so much more at the moment. AEW is just not that interesting to myself, says T85. Yeah, there are people that I really respect, community members that I met that have told me like how much they're enjoying it, and I believe them. I believe that they're not just saying it. I think sometimes you can like look at some people online on Twitter, and like you can sort of tell that they are just into anything AEW because basically it's not WWE, right? They are so into it. It's not WWE, so they'll take it. It's they want to see WWE brought down, and so for them they just love AEW. They want to see it succeed, all that kind of stuff, right? I got no time for that. I got no respect for that. Why would I? But there's people that I know, respect. Even that guy at the tube station, I don't know him, but he was so genuine and he was so passionate about the product that it was, as I said, it was really eye-opening for me to talk to someone that was so into it. It just did make me question, like, wow, I know that I am really far away from that. Reason why we're talking about that is because I just don't feel that way about NXT. NXT tonight, I am so excited. I am genuinely on a Tuesday so pumped for NXT. Like the loser leaves match tonight. What does that mean? we spoke about this last week. Are we going to see people going off to the main roster? Are they, is this where the Dyad are out the door? As well as that, we've got the NXT Underground match. I remember Raw Underground. So we've had many conversations about it, certainly back in the day when it was on. So the fact that we're going to be watching one of those matches tonight, we can compare it to how it was in the past. Like, I find all this really interesting, really fascinating. Like, I'm hooked. I'm in. I'm signed up. I'm a full-blown member of the NXT Society once again. And actually, I've got plans to go to Florida next April. Those plans continuing to develop. I've been looking at flights and planning things out. I know what time I want to go, when I want to go, even borderline where I want to go in Florida. So next April, back end of next April, that's when I'm looking to go. So yeah, I am really excited, and top of my agenda for things to do outside of doing toy hunts will be go to an NXT show. Either go to a tape-in, go to one of the live things in the Performance Center, which I'd love. I don't know how easy it is to get tickets, but I would love to actually be in that room one week. Because I've just been looking around going, oh my God, WrestleMania was in here. This is where WrestleMania 36 was. And this is where we do NXT. This is where we did like Raws and SmackDowns and NXTs for like 2 years or whatever. Not that long. But I would freak at that. But even if that's not possible, I would go to a house show, 100%. I did it last time in 2018. I had such a great experience going to a house show. I've said many times on these streams, if you go to Florida and you're a wrestling fan, you have to go to an NXT house show. You are seeing the likes of Carmelo Hayes, Bron Breakker, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, whoever it might be. You are seeing these people in a venue that can hold about 200 people. I saw, when I went to my house show, the house show I went to, main event was Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir, 3 of the 4 horsewomen. It was only Ronda that was missing. They were taking on Io Shirai, Dakota Kai, right? So I actually saw 2/3 of damage control. It wasn't Bailey, the other person. The other person was Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane was the other person. She was the women's champion at that time. And there is a picture of me with Kairi Sane, because she afterwards stuck around to meet the fans, and she was amazing. She met anyone that wanted to meet her. She was, meeting them. And that was awesome. I also saw the Viking Raiders. I also saw, I think they were against Undisputed Era. So it was Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. I think Lars Sullivan was there. Keith Lee was there. Remember Keith Lee being there. I think Lars Sullivan was there. There was a few. There was a good, these are people that like you look back on now and go, well, some of them are on the main roster, man. So if you do get a chance to go to a house show, you've got to take that opportunity, and I will take that opportunity. I'll try and do both. I'll try to go to NXT, and I will try to go to a house show. But that's all next year, next April. I'm excited. Wrestle with Andy, hello. Shout out to you. Said, do you think Mania could split a 2-day event in America and the UK? Would you try to go to the show if it came? I'm not subscribed to the Mania in the UK thing. There is some breaking news tonight that they are trying to get MPs are now jumping on boards. But to be honest, I think that's just a positive thing for them to get, raise their profile. I just don't buy it. I don't see it being a thing. I think there's a little bit of noise around it right now because Cena only said it on Saturday. That noise could be gone by next week. And this is stuff Cena was saying at house shows that, we've said before. They've had it on surveys, blah, 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 blah. You've only got to watch Triple H's response to see that this is very unlikely, right? I mean, he was never say never. It's difficult. Let's just say it's difficult. And he was talking about how difficult these things can be. He clearly knows things. There are clear obstacles. There's clear problems and reasons. And I don't actually know what they are. We were talking about the fact that cities have to bid for it. If these MPs are able to put a plan together and actually get a bid submitted, WWE would review that bid, right? They would review that bid, and then I don't know if London has ever actually put a bid in. So what I would say is, let's wait and see if London even puts a bid in, because I think there's got to be certain financial agreements given to WWE, certain, tax, kind of cuts or whatever there might be. There's got to be some financial sweeteners. And to be honest, London's going to be competing with other cities in America, and who knows how the London bid is going to compare. Even if a London bid goes in, this is so, we've had John Cena just say it in a ring. That's it, right? And seemingly Triple H was like, yeah, thanks, John, right? Thanks for dropping that on me. He said the reason Cena was there was actually because Cena was in the area and he wanted to get that adrenaline hit. That's what Triple H said in the press conference. He was around. He wanted to play some part in the show. If John Cena wants to play some part in the show, you let John Cena play some part in the show. And, it was a case of, out he came. And I think he's just come out and he's just done some of his shtick. I think he's come out and he's done some of his shtick, which is his old house show shtick. And, it's created a bit of buzz. But I expect that buzz to go. So I hate to be a Debbie Downer. I hate to be someone that's like really not jumping on this bandwagon, but I'm really not jumping on this bandwagon. I just don't see it. So could they do one day in America, one day in the UK? Sure. Absolutely. 100%. Will they? I don't think so. I just don't see it. I'm being a Debbie Downer. Yeah, you've all seen Debbie Does Dallas. Now you're seeing Debbie Does Downer. So I think there's a good chance that we get Raws, we get SmackDowns. I think we could all see other pay-per-views, but I'm just not sold on the idea that we're going to be getting a WrestleMania. Mainly because there's been 40 of them and we haven't even come flipping close. And I think I read earlier that even if we was to get it, the earliest we would get it would be like 2026. Apparently they've got like the next ones all sorted, but they just haven't announced them. So I read that earlier as well. So, next year we know is Philadelphia. I think they've got 2025 already like pretty much done, just not announced. And so the consensus is that if this was going to happen, 2026 would be the earliest that it would happen. Justin said, any news on Ryback and Chase situation? I've not been following it, to be honest, but I did see that he had a live stream the other day. So there was a clip that went around that went a bit viral of this guy talking to Ryback about gonna hunt you and hunt down your family and all that. And Ryback was like, keep talking, Chase, keep talking. As this guy was like, Ryback was saying that he was like mentally ill and he wasn't like, wasn't quite all there or whatever. But then I saw one of his live streams because he was live the other day and I just happened to be on YouTube. I'm always on YouTube. And he was live. So I jumped in and he was calling him out basically. He was like, Chase, are you there? Are you there? Because you're brilliant for ratings. I mean, this thing has blown up and, I'm aware of it. We've spoke about it on the stream. So, I mean, I don't know what it has done for his ratings, but I would imagine it has boosted them. And he was like, are you there? Let's talk. I want to talk. You're brilliant for my ratings. And there was people that were calling in because Ryback's quite brave, man. He's quite brave because he actually allows people to call in and like speaks to them. The reason why that's brave is because, like, I don't know, someone could play like a copyrighted song down the phone and, your stream could get hit with a copyright strike or something. It's always felt a bit too much of a gamble for me to do on these sorts of streams. I'll do it on the members. I've done it on the members before. It was really good, actually. I really enjoyed it, chatting away with people. But I don't know, like there's so much that could go wrong with doing it on like your actual channel. It's always been something that I've never leaned into, but he has, and he was calling him out and everything. So I don't know that if he did show up, but I mean, Ryback said that the police are investigating. Ryback said that people are on this, and he's got some friends that are in the police and they're helping him with the situation. So the noises he's making is that this is serious. He's looking to pursue it to the utmost that he can. It wouldn't surprise me if it sort of went away now, you know? Although if this guy does have some mental health issues, then, you know, maybe he won't stop. Maybe he will call back in. But no, I don't think there was much of an update there, Justin, other than he was calling him out and trying to get him to speak again. Trini said, Triple H also said his head of creative and stories never ends. Drew was never unhappy. I wouldn't trust Triple H on these things. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the truth is about. Him not being unhappy. He said that was news to him that Drew wasn't unhappy. Apparently, Drew was out with an injury, a little injury. So, don't know. I can only tell you what he said at his press conference, and that's the noise that he was making. So we'll see. Jean-Pierre Nelson said, I live in Orlando. We can go together. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been to Orlando so many times. I know it so well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what, I mean, I was thinking like meet and greets and things along those lines. I have had people in America saying, oh, are you going to do meet and greets over here? I'm like, well, I'm not over there. Well, if I do go over there, then, you know, maybe we could sort some up. But this is where America's a bit of a problem in the sense of it's so flipping big. Like in the UK, you know, it's not really a problem for anyone to get to London. You know, like London is a couple of hours on a train for me here, and I'm in the Midlands, right? I'm right tucked over by the border. Like if I drive, I don't know, 15 minutes down the road, I'm in Wales, right? I am in England, but I'm only about 15 minutes away from the border with Wales. Quite far up towards the north of Wales as well. So on a map, that's roughly where I am. Jump on a train and at Telford, jump on a train 2 hours, just over 2 hours, and I'm in London. So obviously a bit further if you're in Liverpool, Manchester, certainly if you're up in Newcastle. But really for anyone in the country, getting to London it's just not that hard. But in America, I mean, getting to like each state is like England. So, I mean, you know, I was just talking to Tommy Toy Travels about like potentially going to see him in Boston, which, you know, I'd be definitely up for doing. But, you know, that's going to be a 3-hour flight, not 2 hours on a train, 3 hours on a plane to get over to see him. So, yeah, it's one of those, isn't it, where it might be a little bit tricky to organise just because there might not be loads of people around. But I don't know. It's one for the future, One for the future. I live in Scotland. I'm going to try and save up money to go to Mania in the UK if it happens, says Status. Jeremy said, mental health issues don't mean the person is crazy and a stalker. You've got to be careful with general statements. It's not my words. These are the words of Ryback saying that he believes that he's got mental health issues and he believes this is why. This is why he is acting the way that he's acting. So, not my words. But to be honest, I mean, you can't walk on eggshells either, can you? You know, if we're going to have adult conversations and we're going to talk about stuff, then let's talk about stuff. And if it's completely unacceptable for someone to speak to him the way that person has spoke to him. And actually, the way this person is speaking to him, I don't know the backstory, but you know, talking about killing him, killing his family, going after his mother, all this kind of stuff. I mean, that doesn't strike me as coming from someone that's thinking logically and thinking rationally. So I don't know, dude. I sort of feel like yeah, you've got to be careful with like those kind of comments, because there's a lot of people that struggle with mental health, and there's a lot of varying degrees of mental health as well. But I don't know. I mean, like, there's no way that you can't. How can you? I can't be handcuffed, can I? This is what he has said. So take it however you want to take it. Big Time said, do you think All In could be AEW's last big shot at another boom period? They need to hit a home run coming off the show, and they are about to break the record for biggest attendance ever. I think it's going to help. I don't know that it'll lead to a boom period. I think that the images are going to be everywhere. Footage is going to be everywhere. I think it looks great, doesn't it? That you've got like so many people that want to come and watch your product. Is that going to inspire people that aren't watching? Is it going to inspire them to tune in? They may tune into that show. They may give that show a chance. But again, I still don't know if it's a pay-per-view. I still don't know if it's behind a paywall. I have no idea. I don't know how they're presenting it. If that is going to be a pay-per-view and you got to pay $50, right, your casuals ain't going to take a chance on that. That's where you are really excluding people. If anything, like trying to just get it on TV, just getting it seen. Because that show, I mean, I don't know if it's paid for itself already with the amount of people that are going. I have no idea. I don't see their financials. So it's hard to say. But what I would say is that it is, if possible, going to be in their benefit to try and get that show in front of as many eyes as possible. Because you're absolutely right. They need a boost. They need to find a way of having it in front of the people. And the way you do that is by putting it on free-to-air, really. If you can, it sounds crazy, a show of that size and of that magnitude being on free-to-air, like being basically a Dynamite. But you've got to get casuals watching it. That is your opportunity to hook people in, bring people in, show them what you are all about. And certainly if that show has already paid for itself, then you're not really missing anything, are you? You're not really losing anything. So I don't know. I still haven't heard anything on that front yet. Will it lead to a boom period? Well, listen, their problem for me has always been that they have had a few false starts, or what I would deem false starts. And I just don't think they've ever been able to capitalize on them. And I think part of that is because of what happened with Punk and the brawl and the drama on that front. Don't forget, MJF went away for a long time as well. MJF was out the picture for ages last year. And then he came back. Then, there was injuries. I remember Forbidden Door not being the kind of lineup that we were hoping for. We had Omega out the picture for ages. He was out with suspension. Then I think he's out with injury before that. And then I don't know if that's why the storylines were affected, but sort of felt like some of the storylines were, there's been so many factions that have started and stopped. There's been so many things that we've sort of teased that have never led anywhere. Some of the stories that we've told, to me, have not been really that gripping. They've not really grabbed me. They've done some good stuff, like Hangman. Do you remember that Hangman story about Hangman trying to, is he with the Elite? Is he not with the Elite? He was tagging with Kenny. They end up splitting apart. He goes off with Dark Order. Well, Dark Order won it. The Hangman story, he was red hot. Hangman was red hot. And they did a great job with that story. That had been built up over a long time. They did a great job with Wardlow and MJF. They did a great job there. These are the stories that I would say have been the most captivating. These are the ones that have stood out to me. But I would say there's been just as many, if not more, that have just not grabbed me. And have just not had that impact as well. So it's one thing to put that show on and grab attention. The biggest thing is going to be, can they keep it? Are they going to be able to keep people around? Are they going to be able to find a way of maintaining that, Now that everyone's seemingly back and we're using, Miro, and we've got CM Punk back and Kenny's back and the Elite are here and blah, 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 blah. Now that we've got everyone around, maybe they stand a chance of keeping like everyone happy and keep getting some storylines going. Plus, also, I don't think Tony is the one that's booking or doing all the booking anymore. I do think Tony has been a big part of the problem. I think that he is. I think he could have put the money up for the wrestlers, and he could have put some people in place that could have done a better job of booking the shows. I think you could have done better than what Tony has been providing. And I think that he is just wanted to control it. He wanted to be the booker. This is a hobby, a passion project. You know, he's spending this money because it allows him to be a booker, but I just don't think his booking has been all that great. So he's done some stuff which I think has been quite good, but then, as I said, I think there's been a lot of stuff that just hasn't been that great. So I don't know. Hopefully he's kind of got that out of his system and he's bringing other people in. And from what I've heard, Collision is meant to be pretty good, certainly better than what we've been seeing on Dynamite. So, don't know. Will it kickstart things for AEW? Maybe. Will it fall flat like it has before, or just stayed pretty stagnant? I mean, you'd have to say that that's just as likely, wouldn't you? Really? So we'll be interesting to find out. Tony and the booking committee said, Travis, aka the unprofessional EVPs, are the problem. Ace5461 said, Daisy Poo, why is LA Knight so over? He is a heel. Well, I think we've spoke about this so much. I think LA Knight is someone that has really caught people's attention because he can talk. I think that he consciously and subconsciously reminds people of The Rock and Stone Cold. I think that you could see LA Knight very much in like the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression era. He's a pro. He's been around the block. He's very comfortable. You can put him in a ring with anyone. He's going to get a match out of them. You can give him a microphone. He'll always find something to say. People love joining in with things. Look at how much people love singing Seth's theme. Look how much people love singing Judas, right? So audience participation is a massive part of wrestling, and it has been forever. But I would say now just as much as ever. We're seeing like the Seth theme song. We're seeing Judas. We're seeing lots of catchphrases. And, you know, this is where his yeah or his nana or whose game is it? It's LA Knight's game. You know, this is LA Knight. Like, he's got lots of little things that he can go to that can bring the crowd in and involve the crowd. So, you know, there's not really too many people on the roster that are doing that kind of thing. You know, I think if one of your comparisons, if when you talk about a wrestler, you have to compare him to Seth's entrance music because of how much the crowd are involved, I think that gives you an idea as to, like, you know, how much he stands out compared to everyone else. There's no one else that's doing that sort of stuff. So it really doesn't matter if he cheats in matches. That's, you know, that's never something that really people are that bothered about. As if you're cool and people like you, people will quite happily turn a blind eye to, you know, all of a sudden, if you're the Miz and you're annoying, if you cheat in a match, people will be annoyed. If you are LA Knight and you cheat in a match, but you're charismatic and people think you're cool and love your catchphrases, if you cheat in a match, oh, that was cheeky. Do you see what he did? That's cheeky. You're just cheeky. You're a rogue. You're a lovable rogue. So that's the difference, really. Okay, looks like we are going over to NXT and we're starting with Blair Davenport. LFG, says Trini. Right, Blair Davenport versus Roxanne Perez. So just straight into the action here, which makes me think this is going to be stacked. Wasting no time. Even the commentators saying that. And Roxanne Perez coming out. So Roxanne ropes, Blair, to start NXT. We've got smoke. Well, look at all this smoke. The smoke machine's gone AWOL. It's gone mental. So Roxanne jumping Blair Davenport. Smoke all around the ringside area. I tell you what, they turned that thing on flipping maximum setting, didn't they? Roxanne going through the ropes. I've never seen so much smoke at the start. It's absolutely everywhere. Starting to dissipate now. That's a lovely word. Dissipate. So Roxanne unloading on Blair, bringing a little bit of aggression. Ruthless aggression. Rest with Andy said, LA Knight is the type of guy you could show your non-wrestling fan friend to, and they would think he was a cool guy. Super, super over. He is... I mean, I keep saying it. I don't quite understand. I don't quite get it. Because, I mean, I get it in the sense of... I get it in the sense of what people like about it, right? I get that bit. But we were not seeing these reactions in NXT. And I was not seeing these reactions in NWA Power. And he was doing the exact same stuff. But now he's gone to the main roster. And I don't know, perhaps, I mean, look, Power, you're not going to get loads of kids, are you? Maybe, dare I say, NXT, you don't get loads of kids. You know, the kids want the stars. The kids want Cena, Roman, right? Things along those lines. I think if you're watching NXT, you're probably that little bit older because you are so invested in this product. You know, NXT's got a reputation for being a little bit more wrestling focused. It's, you know, you don't really you've never had much silliness down in NXT. It's been a bit, of course. You're never going to totally avoid it. But compared to, like, you know, what, you know, we were seeing on the main roster with Miz and whatever, Miz and Morrison, NXT was never quite that same level. So I feel like maybe that is part of the reason that NWA Power, NXT, that audience is that little older. Whereas, you know, looking at Raw, looking at SmackDown, this is where you've got younger kids. Someone like LA Knight coming out with his catchphrases and talking with such confidence. This is where he's been able to maybe, you know, get over a bit. Well, I say a bit more. A lot more than what we've seen in those other promotions. I don't know what he was like in Impact. I don't know how over he was. I don't know if he was getting these crazy reactions in Impact. I would think not. I would guess not. Just because, like, why did he go? If he was getting these reactions in Impact, I'm sure they would have strapped a rocket to him. So I have no doubt he was getting great reactions. I've got no doubt, just like NXT, just like NWA, he was, you know, crowds were behind him. But this is different. This is different. This is significant. When he comes out, the pop is significant. So we've explored quite a bit, tried to work out how it started, why it happened, how it happened. Because again, you go back to I've said, go back to when he was feuding with Bray. Just look at those segments when he comes out. There's little to no reaction for him. And it was after Bray. It was once we were getting to like March, head into WrestleMania. It's kind of around the time when he's talking about you can't have an LA WrestleMania without LA Knight. It's kind of around that time where we start to see things really move. And then he's not at WrestleMania when people wanted to see him there. He's not at WrestleMania. And I think that just adds more fuel to the fire. And then he's, you know, he's not in any sort of feuds. I remember he breaks a PS5 controller because he's, you know, having a match with Xavier Woods. I mean, that's what we're doing with him, basically. And I think the fans just, you know, they're weeks by weeks go. The crowd reactions get that little bit louder, that little bit louder, that little bit louder. You know, people start talking and noticing the reactions that get spoken about online. You know, all of a sudden he's trending as well. And it's just, you know, it's that snowball effect of crowds influencing crowds. Because, to be honest, if the crowds had stayed quite quiet for him, it would be interesting to know if would he have trended? Would he have been mentioned in articles? Would it have snowballed? Like, I feel like loud pops, loud crowds, then influence other crowds. Because all of a sudden, if a crowd tells you this is a guy we're really into, when he then walks out, when he comes to your town, you do take notice that little bit more. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That is literally how you get over. Like, the reactions grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger. You become more part of the conversation. So, it's one that has been very, very interesting, and one that we've touched on quite a few times throughout these streams. Simon, shout out to you, my friend. Really appreciate the support. Simon said WWE could make WrestleMania massive with a UK and Ireland event, with Raw in Wales, SmackDown in Scotland, NXT in Ireland, NXT Premium Live event in Northern Ireland, and a WrestleMania in England. Yep, sure. It's really difficult for me to have conversations about it. I mean, you are right. They could make it massive. There's loads you could do over here. I'm just so not sold that it's going to happen. I've already said I'm a Debbie Downer on this. I'm a Debbie Downer on it. I've been burnt. I've been there. I've got the T-shirt. I've heard this stuff before. I think when you've been down these roads before and you've heard these conversations before and it's never led anywhere, you kind of get to the point where, okay, yeah, it's time for the conversation again about WrestleMania. I remember as well, there was rumors that they were looking to do 2 WrestleManias a year. They were going to do one in like April time, and they were going to do one in November. Do you remember this? Because we've had this conversation as well. This is another idea that did the rounds. And the conversation was that the second WrestleMania was going to be international, right? So they would do a WrestleMania in America, and then they would do the second WrestleMania later in the year in international markets. And, again, this is where we got a load of excitement about, oh my God, they would definitely do England. They would definitely come to the UK. And so we had the conversation then as well. So it's just one of those that I just, until I see it, it's not happening. I've been down this road too many times. I know every house on this street. I feel like I know the people that live in the houses on this street. It was nice to hear, though, that the MPs turned around and said today that they would like to get it done. There was a couple of MPs in Parliament that said, yeah, we'd love to, find a way of making this work. But a couple of MPs making that kind of noise, you've got to be, there's got to be a lot of people involved. There's got to be big bids that get submitted. And I think for me, if London or the UK actually officially submit a bids, we've never done that before. And if we actually get to the point where that happens, yeah, let's talk. Let's talk then, because then we're in the running. Then London has, sent its intent out there. But it just feels like we're so far off that. It really feels like in about a week's time, we won't even be talking about this. This will be a thing of the past, and it'll be done. But I mean, yeah, Simon, you're not wrong. If we do get to the point where we are having serious conversations about WrestleMania and events coming to the UK, you could absolutely spread shows around and do some very interesting stuff. And it's funny you should say that, actually, because I said only the other day I'd love for NXT to come back over. NXT used to come over, but it hasn't been over in like years and years and years. As soon as NXT UK really started up, NXT stopped coming. They just let NXT UK like be the thing over here. And to be honest, I could see if NXT Europe starts, then we won't get NXT again. And that's a real shame, because I'd love to see these stars, I'd love to see Braun and Carmelo and, all these people, the Creeds. I'd love to see these guys in person. In order to do that, you've got to go to Florida. That wasn't the case. They used to come to the UK. Actually saw NXT in Brighton and Bournemouth in England back in like 2016 and 2017. Blair is, we need to talk about the action here, don't we? As Blair charges over, back elbow, kick to the midsection there by Roxanne. Roxanne looking for pop rocks. Weird place that she tried to do that then. She was right over in the corner. She wouldn't have had any movement anywhere to actually hit that pop rocks. This match has been going since the show started, so we're 12 minutes deep already. Shots coming in by Roxanne. Blair up against the ropes. Roxanne gets pushed back. Roxanne charging over. Blair Davenport goes over the top to the outsides. Roxanne gesturing to the crowd. Against the ropes goes Roxanne. Through the ropes. Looking for a kick as Blair Davenport moves out the way. Back elbow by Roxanne as Blair Davenport goes down. Roxanne charging over. She goes into the ring steps. So into the ring steps for Roxanne Perez as Blair Davenport delivers a knee. Vicious knee to Roxanne Perez, who goes down. We got the stars and stripes on the NXT logo. Obviously, it is the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. I've said it a few times, but I'll happily say it again to my American friends. Roxanne just getting into the ring. Crowd a little bit quiet for this one. Few Roxy chants breaking out. And Blair trying to a driver. Falcon Arrow for Blair Davenport. 1, 2. And a kick out by Roxanne. Shoulder up by Roxanne. Right now, we've got Roxanne down on her knees. We've got a knee strike there by Blair. And again, as Roxanne goes down. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Blair just beats Roxanne. Few knee strikes. Finishes off. So a Falcon Arrow. A few knee strikes and Roxanne is beaten. 1, 2, 3. Few boos breaking out around the arena. Yeah, knee strike by Blair. So there's around about 3 or 4 in a row there, and she pins her and picks up the victory. Big win for Blair Davenport. Days ideally, airing All In on TBS would be ideal, but it's likely to be filed with PIP and ad breaks. Would it still be strong, this route? I see 1.3 tuning in. Yeah, I think going to ad breaks, I don't see that as a problem. I think you've just got to get it in front of as many people as possible. And that is the best avenue to do that. Here's Ivy. Schism needs to be eliminated. Here's Tiffany. Why are you talking to her? You should be talking to me, says Tiffany Stratton. Everyone saw you tap out. If I was in there, the whole world would see you tap out. So Tiffany said if the Creeds lose, then she goes as well, right? She's like, no, she stays. So Ivy will stay regardless. Right, Mustafa Ali coming out next. Mustafa Ali against Tyler Bates. Mustafa Ali versus Tyler Bates. I love Tiffany, says David. Blair won. She looked awesome. My thinkings are getting surprised. Intoxicated Beat, shout out to you. Nicole said, Daze, you beanie feels weirdly high, and it's been disturbing me. It keeps rising up, to be honest. It's not the beanie that I tend to wear, because I couldn't find it, and then just before I started streaming, I found it. It was literally just over there. But, so I'm having to wear this one instead, which, it does keep, like, going... I think my head's a bit too big for it. The problem is with beanies, they don't tend to come in sizes. It's kind of that, one size fits all. But like you do get some that just wear a bit bigger than others. And this one, I don't know if it needs to be like broken into or whatever, but I think as I'm talking and moving, it's like, by the end of the stream, it'll be like that. Like that by the end. It'll just be covering like a little tuft at the top. Maybe on the side or something. So, yeah. Beanie drama on the stream so far. Russell Andy said, hashtag get a life, kids. You loved that, didn't you? You loved that. You loved when he got Todd's get a life. I don't think he did, to be honest. I don't think he loved it. Bert said, Daze, rumor, did you know AJ's first official debut in WWE was 2002? His second was in Royal Rumble. Did you know that rumor or not? It's not a rumor, it's true. That's not a rumor. That is true. He was in WWE before, and it just didn't really work out, and so he ended up going away. And I don't know if he went straight to TNA, but obviously TNA is where he found his feet and his momentum, and it was nothing but up from there. Kim said, do you think they can bring back Mustafa Ali's first theme from 205 Live? They can. I don't know if they will, but they can. I don't think there's anything stopping them. If WWE do 2 WrestleManias, how do you think they would do the Royal Rumble? I would imagine the second WrestleMania probably wouldn't be connected to the Rumble. The first one would. But then you could always have, say, the Money in the Bank winner. The prize be that you get to, compete for the title at WrestleMania. It'd be a bit of a shame to change Money in the Bank. I mean, maybe you go with a move in Elimination Chamber or something. I don't know how. And that is not happening now, by the way. That is like years and years and years ago. The point I was making more was we've had this conversation about WrestleMania coming to London probably once every couple of years for a very long time. And it's always like something that sets it off. The examples was 2 WrestleManias, one of them being international. There being a survey where London was actually on the survey, asking people where would you like to see WrestleManias in the future, and one of the venues was London. Cena at house shows, after Raws, after SmackDowns, wherever he was performing in the UK, talking about WrestleMania. It just feels like this is the latest. It's just the latest. It's the latest thing. I think there's a lot of people that maybe haven't seen this before, or haven't heard of this before, or didn't get a chance to see Cena when he was like doing shows over here or whatever. And so maybe like the WrestleMania, plus also I think because of AEW and because they've done Clash and now they've done Money in the Bank, perhaps it feels a little more different because it feels like, well, they are doing pay-per-views over here again. Like they are doing pay-per-views. AEW have done Wembley. So maybe AEW doing Wembley and all that, perhaps that's making it hit a little different. So, but yeah, I'm very much like, I'll just believe it when I see it, I mean, I haven't even done a video on it. I haven't spoke about it. I haven't done anything on it. It's just noise. It's just noise. But yeah, how would that second one work? I don't think they would change the Rumble. The Rumble works. There's no point changing something that works. I think if you win the Rumble, you would still do main event WrestleMania, and then you'd just find a way of establishing the other second WrestleMania main events. Okay, we've got a little look around Baron Corbin's house. He says that he's got everything he wants apart from his reputation. What I want is I want to be feared and respected. Oh, he's got the crown. Look at all these things from the past. I don't need a manager. Burn all the ships. I can't go back. There's no going back. No gimmicks. No nonsense. No BS. Brilliant. 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 Oh, look, that was amazing. That right there is one of the reasons why NXT right now is so good, because you've got a character in Baron Corbin who's been around for 8 years. And this segment we've just watched here, we should have been watching on SmackDown, and we should have been watching that on Raw. You know, this is exactly what we should have been seeing on those shows. Why has he had to go back to NXT to get that segment? Because that segment is fantastic. That is brilliant. Burn all the ships. I don't need no gimmicks. And you watch him chuck the crown, chuck his vest top, chuck all the shirts that he wore when he was Happy Corbin into a fire and burns them all. He doesn't need any gimmicks. He doesn't need no BS. He doesn't need a manager. That's really good. If you're not watching NXT and you're just joining us to, you know, share your thoughts, join in on the conversation, welcome. But I would say that if you get a chance, when that hits YouTube, and I'm sure it will, check that out. It's a really good video package, that is. It's a really good video package. Edward, shout out to you. Daze, you are amazing. Can't wait to meet you one day. One of the nicest people ever. Do you think we'll get a Rumble in the UK? I think if we get a Rumble in the UK, that'll be amazing. I mean, for many people, their favorite show is the Rumble. I'm going to lean towards unlikely at the moment. I'm going to lean towards unlikely. I think that it's more realistic than WrestleMania. You don't have to bid for a Rumble. But the thing with a Rumble is that tends to be in a like baseball stadium. I mean, that tends to be in a pretty healthy size space. It's you could always do the O2. We have done it in the arena, but just right now they like to do it in outdoor venues. They like to do it in, as we said, you know, like baseball stadiums. You ain't doing an outdoor venue in January in the UK. So they would have to go back to doing a arena, which, as we said, you can absolutely do. You can do the O2. We've got the O2. We've got other venues as well. But then are they going to fly over everyone you would need? I mean, you're going to need 60 people for the 2 Rumbles. You're going to need 60 guys, 60 girls. Like, are we really shipping all of them over to the UK and the undercard matches as well? I've got to think that it's going to be a lot easier for them to do another like Clash type show, you know? It's got to be easier for them to do a card where, you know, we get a Payback, we get a Backlash, we get a Fastlane. I feel like those are easier to do. I think we've just got to be so grateful that we got Money in the Bank. I mean, Money in the Bank is one of the big shows. Big shows. I think there's a chance that you could get a SummerSlam. SummerSlam in the summer. We did it in '92 at Wembley. We've done it before. And you know, you don't quite need as many superstars to come over for that, and it's a better time of the year for us because the weather's going to be better, and we've got plenty of outdoor venues. So I would actually say that I think SummerSlam's more realistic than a Rumble. And I would say that a SummerSlam's more realistic than a WrestleMania. So I'd feel pretty good for SummerSlam. In fact, if they were to announce SummerSlam for, I don't know about next year or like maybe the year after 2026, I could see that. I could really see that. That one feels much more realistic. And who knows, maybe they would want to do a SummerSlam first to get a gauge of numbers, which would then help them better understand how realistic a WrestleMania would be. And then maybe they could go to London Council, the MPs, and try and see if they would want to put a bid in, you know? Right, we are underway with this match between Tyler and Mustafa Ali. TD, shout out to you. If you could change one match result in history, what would it be? Oh, that's great. That's great. I feel like that's one to ask you. I'll tell you the first that comes to mind, and that's Triple H Sting. The only thing I would say is it doesn't really change a great deal. In retrospect, it wouldn't have made the biggest of difference. But that was one that really bothered me at the time. Because Sting had come in, and it's one of my favorite entrances is Survivor Series 2014 when he actually comes in. Perfect. I would say perfect. And then his match against Triple H at WrestleMania 31, a lot of smoke and mirrors, which, to be honest, I mean, you look at the fact that Sting is still competing, and you sort of think, why did we have to do so many smoke and mirrors? At the time, it felt like because maybe Sting was a bit limited in ring, but actually, in retrospect, I think we could have got away with a proper match, and we didn't need, they used that as an excuse to do NWO and DX. Now, if you are someone that was a big fan of the Attitude Era or whatever, I'm sure that you loved it, popped at it, all that. I was someone that was just so excited to see Sting in WWE. It was Sting in particular that I was interested in. For me, I didn't need that. That took away from the match. It didn't make the match better. It actually made it a lot worse. And I just wanted Sting one-on-one, Triple H, proper contest, proper match with a proper finish. And I was hoping Sting would get the win. And it didn't go that way. I mean, I didn't get any of that. I suppose in a way it was a proper match at times, but we get DX come down, we get NWO come down, we get a lot of messing around at the end, we get Triple H winning. And what I heard was the reason why they did that is because they knew that it would upset people, Triple H winning, and it was done by design because at WrestleMania 32, we were meant to get Triple H against The Rock, and they were using this as a way of really upsetting people and getting that ball rolling. Because you might remember later in WrestleMania 31, we do get Triple H coming down to the ring, and we do get The Rock confronting him. The Rock and Ronda confronting Triple H and Steph. And I think it might have been like a SmackDown following it, where there's a backstage confrontation as well. So there was a few moments between Triple H and The Rock around that time, which was designed to set up a match at WrestleMania 32, which is a match we end up never getting. So that's the one that kind of comes to mind straight away. Bang. But it, in retrospect, doesn't change much, does it? You know, you could have Sting win. Does it change a great deal? No, it doesn't. So maybe that's one that's in retrospect doesn't really matter too much, but it's the first one I always think of. To be honest, the second one I think of is Booker T and Triple H. I hate Triple H. Booker T and Triple H, because you might remember the build for that was very controversial. There was a lot of comments that were made that were seen as racist or borderline racist. And it was a bit uncomfortable at times, to be honest. It was not WWE's proudest moment at all. And the thing was that you thought that Booker T would get put over. I think I can't remember. I think it was 19, wasn't it? I can't remember the WrestleMania off the top of my head, but I think it was 19. And it's Triple H, Booker T. The build is horrible. As we said, uncomfortable at times. And at least you thought, well, they'll put Booker T over, and he doesn't. He doesn't go over. And so for me, that one probably should be the one actually that we change. There'll be some that I would imagine will say the streak as well, but I'm all right with that. Owen beating Brett at SummerSlam 94, says Wrestle with Andy. Sting was always awesome. He was good character. NWO Black and White helping Sting just didn't make any sense. NWO Wolfpack would have made sense. Booker T Triple H is the number one result that should have changed, said Austin. After Triple H won, he shook hands with Stings. That didn't make any sense. That annoyed me, said Millennial. Yeah, there was a lot about it that was annoying. I agree. It didn't make... I mean... it didn't make sense from a storyline point of view, NWO getting involved. But to be honest, even if it had been Wolfpack, it's still not what I wanted. It's still not what I wanted. I just wanted Triple H, Sting, one-on-one. Let's get it sorted. Mano-y-mano. We don't... They just used it as an excuse to do NWO DX, which could have been its own thing. We could have had a fun segment. Could have had DX come out in the tank and NWO walk down to the ring. Like, that could have been a segment. It didn't need to be in that match. I don't know. I always took it they didn't have confidence that Sting could have a proper match and we needed to put some bells and whistles in there. But having seen what he's done in AEW, I've got to think going back like 9 years, he could have got through a match, you know? Right now we got Mustafa Ali all over Tyler Bate. We are back. We have been at commercial break, by the way. Austin, shout out to you. I don't know if you saw the Baron Corbin segment. I didn't see when you jumped in, but brilliant. You need to check it out if you did miss it. DDT. So an airplane spin by Tyler Bate. But Ali actually reverses into a DDT and absolutely plants Tyler Bate. Tell you what, this is got real potential, even though it's maybe a match that doesn't mean a great deal. These two are both great competitors. This could have been amazing in like the cruiserweight division, 205 live. Ali looking to go against the ropes, and he does. Over the top, lands. Oh, I thought he was going to land on his feet, but he didn't quite. Tyler Bate goes over. Bate goes over the top rope so well. So well. I mean, got some real height there. Oh! Tyler Bate trying to get back into the ring. He gets kicked in the face. Through the ropes goes Mustafa Ali. Tyler Bate goes down. Mustafa Ali grabbing Tyler Bate, chucking him back into the ring. Duck underneath. Off the top rope. Clothesline. Mustafa Ali gets turned inside out. Bate looking for the pin. 2. Shoulder up. I saw it. I love the video package. It was amazing. It's what Corbin has needed a long time, said Austin. Yeah, I completely agree. I thought it was brilliant. This is so exciting for Corbin. All of this is what he's needed. The best Baron Corbin match I have ever seen was that match against Carmelo Hayes. That is my absolute number one best Corbin match I have ever seen. And now this week, they followed it up with a really great video package as well. I really enjoyed when he was broken and he was sad. And he was like broken Corbin. Sad Corbin. But I'll take this as well. Like, this is right up there for the most engaged I felt with Baron Corbin right now. Ali in the corner trying to get up to the top. I got a question and the chat. What is one result in the past that made no sense but makes a lot of sense now? That's a lovely question, Bishop. That's a great question. Let's let people answer that. I mean, I would say the end of the streak, which I know is not going to be a popular answer, but we have spoke about it before. It didn't make any sense to me at the time because Brock was Brock, former UFC heavyweight champion. And there was no indication the streak was ending. And it didn't. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock, actual shock. It's what I was still thinking about as I left the pub that night. I couldn't get my head around what I'd seen. I really was still expecting it. I was expecting it to be reversed. I was expecting the decision to be reversed. I was expecting something to happen, and it never did. Big splash, 450 by Ali. 2, 3. Ali wins. Ali with a 450 splash. But Brock used it. He really did use it. There's a lot of wrestlers that were around at the time that are not with WWE anymore. And, you could have given it to somebody. Could have given it to, like, a Dean Ambrose or someone like that that's, no longer with WWE. Brock is, nearly 10 years later, still around, still in main events, still competing. So challenges Wes at Great American Bash. So it is hyped up. Oh, he's ripped in Booker T. Look at that. His jacket's come off. Has he been drinking? What's going on? Booker T's just sat there in his vest. He's hyped. We're going backstage to Joe Gacy. Oh, he is ripped, man. What's up with Vic Joseph? Vic Joseph's like... Right. Joe Gacy and Ava. Tonight. The right team will win. This will... Lovely that is. It's lovely. Old school. Old school. Tonight we eliminate a problem from NXT. Tonight the right team will win. What do you mean the right team? He's not talking about the Dyad. Well, not mentioning the Dyads. So he's sort of insinuating that the Dyad might be the problem. The Dyad might be the problem. The Dyad, the right team might win, and that team might be the Creeds. The right team will win. I don't think Ava's thinking that, though. Ava was quite clear, saying how Dyad are like an integral part, Talking about how they are, two of the roots. She keeps going on about these roots. Nice, though. I like that. This will strengthen the schism. Days, I watched Money in the Bank on the network. They had an advert for AEW event at Wembley on the network, says Simon. Did they? On the WWE network in the UK? Maybe on Peacock. Do you mean Peacock? Don't think it'd be on the WWE network. In fact, there's no ads on the WWE network. So it must be that they've paid for it to be on Peacock. Justin said, Days, was it real when The Miz and R-Truth hijacked the show during a cage match? Triple H came out and attacked them. They got fired. Was it a work? Was that real? I believe it to be a work, but work. WWE AEW fan said, I have been hearing fireworks this whole weekend. Creeds lose tonight, said Justin. Oh, we should why have we not done a poll? I'm just sat here chatting away about various different things. Should so do a poll. Who loses? Oh, actually, who leaves NXT? So is it going to be the Dyad are out the door? Or is it going to be the Creeds? Dyad or Creeds? Who leaves NXT? That is in the chat right now. Justin, we read that one. I think NXT Underground will be next. I missed the WWE Network. We've still got it in the UK. It's great. I think eventually we will probably get it with on Peacock or whatever. I just hope that when Endeavor take over, we don't lose it. It's funny. I was just talking to Tommy Toy Travel's dad, which I honestly didn't know I was going to be doing until like a few moments before we went live. He went, "Oh, I'm going to call my dad." During the stream, he was like, he did watch wrestling when he was young, and he likes Frasier. That was all I got told. So I was talking to him, and he was telling me he used to watch wrestling when he was young. It's so amazing because he was watching WWF. So he would have been watching like Bruno and Chief J Strongbow, Haystack Calhoun. He was talking about some of the proper OG legends. And there's so much of that stuff that's just not on the network. There's so much of that stuff. Just very little from the 60s, not loads from the 70s, a lot from the 80s. But 60s and 70s is very underserved. So yeah, it was kind of cool, like just listening to him talk about like watching that back in the day. So the network's awesome, but I would love to see more of that content go onto its 60s and 70s. Right, in the ring that looks like Tatum Paxley. It is Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley in the ring. I don't know who she's taking on. Tatum Pax. She's gone a bit goth, isn't she? She's really gothed it up. She looks like she could quite easily fit in with Albert and Isla. Here is... this is that new girl. With Dana Brooke. Kelani Jordan. Kelani Jordan versus Tatum Paxley. Now, I think this Kelani Jordan was in the Battle Royal, but I don't think we've seen a singles match for her yet. We could be looking at the future. They're calling her the Total Package. 5-time academic All-American. She's got a master's degree in journalism. Damn. Clever. She got smarts. Tatum working on the arm. Flips over. She's got a gymnastics background as well. Drop kick. Nice. Arm drag. Working on the arm at the moment. Kelani Jordan is her name. It's always exciting to see new faces. And, this is a young lady who is very easy on the eye. She seems to be very athletic as well, doing leapfrogs, arm drags, drop kicks. Yeah, she is very quick. Nice takeover there. So Vic Joseph said she's a sponge. She loves to just absorb knowledge, and certainly, like, she's showing a few things here already. She seems to be quite tidy. Shoulder tackle, down goes Tatum. Jordan going against the ropes, over the top. Again, the other side. Back elbow there by Tatum. Been largely all Jordan at the moment. Jordan going into the corner. Tatum looking for a backbreaker. She's going to get it. She does. Backbreaker by Tatum. Dana Brooke on the outside cheering on Kalani Jordan. I wonder if we'll see those two as like a tag team, maybe? Kalani Jordan and Dana Brooke. Nice chin lock at the moment by Tatum Paxley. Crowd obviously a little quiet. This is our first look at Kalani Jordan. Shot to the back there and... oof. Kick coming in as well. It's quite vicious by Tatum. Tatum taking a moment to look out at Dana. Into the corner goes Kalani Jordan. Again looking... Oh, she went for another backbreaker. Couldn't get it. Kalani Jordan lands on her feet. Suplex. Looking to pick her up. No. Oh! Stunner by Kalani Jordan. 1, 2, 3. Wow! Kalani Jordan picks up a win over Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley's been around for a while here. This was not Jordan's first, Paxley's first rodeo, and Jordan picks up the win. It's a nice little stunner, that is. Well, I mean, look, pretty basic stuff. The stunner's nice at the end. But we're looking at drop kicks. We're looking at, clotheslines. But there was a nice intent in there. Here's Jade, the generation of Jade. Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill. I wish it was Jade Cargill. Cora Jade. I think Jade Cargill in NXT would be great. Looks like they're going to get her to do a promo now as well. They're really making her work. Cora said, how cute. A friend of Dana Brooke is an enemy of mine. You people have zero effect on me. How about we settle this right here, right now? Seems a bit silly. Don't tell me what to do, ever. Cora walks away. So, Kalani proposes a match. Jade walks away. Chase you, baby! Chase you! Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's go. Mr. Chase. So, Mr. Chase wants to recognize Duke Hudson. In my absence, you stepped up. Thank you, Duke. You proved why you are Chase U's MVP. Is this going to be a bit of a problem, him now going back to being a student? So he goes to sit down. Stupid Nick. The uncrowned women's champion, Thea Hale. Okay, so he's talking about Charlie Dempsey and he's talking about Drew Gulak. Oh, it's that dude's. I'll take care of this one. Hey, how you doing? Right, now he starts having to go at him. He's that dude that cut the promo, isn't he? Do you remember, like, during the commercial break weeks and weeks ago? They're hyped. Shoot, Jay, shoot, Jay, shoot, Jay, shoot. Oh, wow, they're taking the ropes off the ring, so we are getting towards time for the NXT Underground. It's pretty exciting, isn't it? It's not often you see the ropes being removed. In fact, you never see the ropes being removed. Her calling Andre Chase Mr. Chase reminds me of Harley Quinn calling Joker Mr. J, said Justin. Godfather So said, Daze, happy 4th of July. Very lifted, very dranked up, but still got time for that Wrestling Daze pod show. Do a shot of Red Bull for America. Hulk Hogan is small dong. R.I.P. America. Smoke bombs. I do like Hulk Hogan is small dong. America! God bless you, America. Crazy cats. Max said, there's a lot of talent in the women's division in NXT. They could do with a mid-card belt. Do you agree? Yes. They sort of had one with the women's titles, women's tag titles. In a way, those were 2 women's mid-card belts, just as a tag division. But, no. Not allowed them anymore. I don't know why. LB said, how do you think wrestlers, the likes of Mick McManus, would do in this modern era? I mean, wrestling has evolved and changed so much that I think that it's different. It's just different. I mean, it's quicker paced. It's a lot more aerial. There's, you know, I think we do see a technical side, but I mean, look at how, say, Timothy Thatcher has got on. Look at how Drew Gulak has got on. Look at how Charlie Dempsey's getting on. You know, if you are an in-ring technician, if you are catchers catch can, it's very difficult for you. You've got to kind of be a hybrid. So you can absolutely have that, but you've got to have more to your game than just that. So I feel like there's definitely some wrestlers from the world of sport that would do well in the modern wrestling. People like Rollerball Rocco, for example. But I also think that there would be some people in world of sport that would struggle, that were very technical, very credible, but it's not really where WWE is. Let's put it that way. It's not really where WWE is. Maybe someone like Mick McManus, if he had the right gimmick, could do well in, say, a New Japan. You know, if he was to go into New Japan, but I think certainly Raw or SmackDown would not be the right fit for a lot of those world of sports superstars. RIP the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, says Jim. Intoxicated Beat said, I hate Chase U. Wrestle Andy said, Days at Money in the Bank, they were changing the canvas between all the matches. That's interesting. I wonder if that's so that they can sell them, maybe. I know that they always want clean canvases. I know that's something that Vince has always had a thing for. They don't always change canvases, though. Certainly house shows and whatever. But I think maybe for like a pay-per-view, they always want a clean canvas. But also, that means that when you do those presentation plaques, you've just got even more canvases. that you can use to like cut up and put in those things and sell. Kojiko, yeah, hope you're well, dudes. Kojiko, shout out to you, my friends. Eddie Thorpe is going to be taking... we have got people around ringside. Eddie Thorpe making his way down with Gable Steveson. Here we go. NXT Underground. They're banging on the ring. So, again, this will be a load of people that we're going to see as future stars, I'm sure. Coach Co said faces are the solid or... feces are the solid or semi-solid remains of food. Great fact. Great fact from Coach Co. Hope you're well, my friend. Shout out to you. Here's Damon Kemp. Never seen Damon Kemp with and Gable Steve, so I'd love to see them like face to face. Here's Damon Kemp. So we are out in the arena. It's pretty wild scenes, isn't it? What, with no ropes, people around the ring. These two just want to get at each other. There's no people on the hard cam side. Well, a couple of people. But the majority of that hard cam side is left. Gable Stevenson's brought his Olympic gold medal. Actually, Stevenson, I thought Stevenson would be a lot bigger than Damon Kemp, but not by the looks of it. Alicia Taylor. Accompanied by Gable Stevenson. Eddie Thorpe with Gable Stevenson. NXT Underground. Let's go. Damon Kemp. Getting boos. NXT Underground. No counts, no pinfalls. The only way to win is knockout, technical knockout, or submission. Knockout, technical knockout, or submission. Right, we are underway. I like it. The lights are a little bit lower as well. That dude, I would imagine a few of them actually, that are Chase U members. You know, that one that just got shouted at. He is in the back. You can see he's got like a jacket on. Takedown. Nice takedown by Damon Kemp. Big shots coming in. We got some ground and pound on the go. So Damon Kemp all over Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe seemed to be looking for a triangle. Kick coming in. See, this is where MMA commentary and MMA knowledge is going to hopefully help us out here with big forearm strikes coming in by Damon Kemp. Right now, we got a bit of a scramble on the ground just to get him back up to his feet, picks him up, slams him down. You don't see that in MMA as Damon Kemp is all over Eddie Thorpe. Now is looking to get a rear naked choke applied. Rear naked choke. He's not got the hooks in. That means that Eddie Thorpe's been able to get to his knees. There's a knee to the midsection by Damon Kemp. Damon Kemp is all over Eddie Thorpe, putting in a bit of ground and pound. But again, he keeps going for that rear naked choke. He's gone for another one here. This time he's seemingly looking for the hooks. It looked like a bit of a tap there. He's going to have to be careful. Nice reversal, though, by Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe on top of Damon Kemp. We're still down on the ground. They're trading positions at the moment. Forearm strikes raining down by Damon Kemp. Damon Kemp has fully mounted Eddie Thorpe. So he is totally on him. But again, the reversal. Eddie Thorpe in the guard of Damon Kemp. They're going to roll out the ring. And they do roll to the outside. They both spill to the outside. People move out the way. Shot to the midsection by Damon Kemp. So this action spilling to the outside. Trying to get back into the ring. But big forearm strike as Damon Kemp goes down. Eddie Thorpe leaning up against the ring. Some woman gets moved in the way. She gets pushed into Eddie Thorpe. So Damon Kemp using someone at ringside as a distraction. And now again throwing in some forearm strikes. And that has not been very well received by the crowds. Gable Steveson standing in the background looking a little bit concerned. Eddie Thorpe gets thrown into the barricades. Eddie Thorpe goes down as Damon Kemp's got a few words. Oh, look at it. Look at it. Damon Kemp, Gable Steveson, face to face momentarily. That's pretty fun. That's pretty cool. Eddie Thorpe is thrown over the barricades. And Gable Steveson just trying to grab him, but an arm bar. Looks like he's got an arm. Eddie Thorpe grabbing the arm. Kemp. Damon Kemp, though, picking up Eddie Thorpe, slamming him on the edge of the ring. Damon Kemp getting back into the ring. Eddie Thorpe still down on the outside. I love that face-to-face between Steveson and Kemp. Eddie Thorpe getting back up to his feet. This contest still continuing. I think it would be good if this had, like, time limit. Oh, into a German suplex. You know, with UFC, you get 5-minute rounds. You get, like, a countdown clock. Got a little graphic saying Braun Breaker coming up later. As Kemp goes over. Shot to the midsection by Eddie Thorpe. Kick to the midsection by Eddie Thorpe as well. Both fighters up on their feet. Looked like Kemp with the takedown. Thought he was looking for a spine buster. Looking for another rear naked choke. This time he's got the legs wrapped around, but they still don't quite look like they're hooked in. But that does look pretty nasty. Feels like Eddie Thorpe might be able to get out of it, though. And he does. Getting back up to his feet. Kemp still keeping a hold. Nice. Throwing Kemp over. Kemp looking to charge over. Kick to the midsection by Eddie Thorpe. Another kick coming in. Kick to the body. German suplex by Eddie Thorpe. Damon Kemp is down. Eddie Thorpe is down. Gable Stevenson's gesturing to the heavens on the outside. Eddie Thorpe grabbing Kemp. Looked like he was going for another suplex, and he does. So another suplex. Gable Steveson is on the ring steps cheering on Eddie Thorpe. Thorpe coming over and Kemp grabbing him. We've got a big right hand. Eddie Thorpe goes down. Definitely feels like this needs a bit of a time limit. I don't know how long we've been going with this, but like the action in this is so hard hitting and like there's so much that's going on. You sort of need that break. Knee strike there by Eddie Thorpe. Kemp went down. Eddie Thorpe standing over Kemp. Grabbing him. Picking him back up to his feet. Gable Steveson making his way up those ring steps. Oh, wow. Belly to belly to the outside. Oh, my God. He has just belly to bellied him off the ring to the outside. That is not a move that you ever see because there are always ropes in the way. Damn, man. Damn, man. Oh, my God. Gable Stevenson's trying to show him his medal, his Olympic medal. Like, that's going to inspire him by some miracle. Eddie Thorpe. Whoa, Kemp just pushes someone out the way. Kemp goes into the ring post. This is crazy, man. That spot is crazy. That belly to belly is crazy. Oh, suplex on the outside. German suplex by Eddie Thorpe. Yeah, this definitely needs a break in the action. It's pretty non-stop, but back elbows coming in by Kemp. Eddie Thorpe trying to grab the leg. Kick coming in there by Kemp. Kemp going over. Eddie Thorpe jumping back into the ring. Duck underneath. Trying to grab the arm. He's got a triangle applied. Triangle. Thorpe! Triangle up. He gets powerbombed down, but it just goes in deeper. It's deeper. Elbows getting fired in. And that might be enough to knock out Damon Kemp. Oh, man. I tell you what, the ending of that is so crazy. That belly to belly on the outside is sick. That belly to belly on the outside is sick. So Eddie Thorpe picks up the victory, picks up the win. What a wild, well, it wasn't even a match. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Gable thinks he's Paul Bearer with that gold medal. My Eddie Thorpe. He's here. That belly to the outside is mental. Who's this dude? Who's this boomer? Goes for a shot. Oh, man, look at that. The Olympic gold medalist is throwing everyone around with ease. And the height they're getting. Look at the height. Oh, my God. Some of these are disgusting. Who's this guy? Who the hell is that? Who the hell is that? Oh, Gable Steveson chucks him around as well. Steveson unleashed. Simon said that match was awesome. Crazy, man. Stevenson's going off at everyone. Man, the way that he was like, he is so strong. He is freakish. He's stronger than he even looks. And he looks strong. But I mean, like, some of the height some of them were getting. I know that they play a part with their jump as well. I understand, but that was different. That was fun. I think I'm just going to say what I said before. If that had its own roster and we like teased, oh my God, like, you know, we just saw Gable Steveson and that guy. If you then set that match up for next week, you'd be excited for that. Ooh, Carmelo's inviting Judgment Day. We're the judge, jury, and executioners. So, right, they've invited Judgment Day. Those elbows, not the ones that got John Jones his only L. Were those the elbows? Not the ones that got John Jones his only L. Those some of the stuff in that match was a little bit wide of the mark. Like some of the shots, it's so hard to make like striking look good. Some of those shots in there, you know, Damon Kemp's kind of doing a bit of, but that, you know, that's just a bit nitpicky. So the elbows at the end I thought looked good. Not going to lie, I liked it quite a bit, said Erasure Minds. Good match, but it does need some adjustments. A 10-star match, said Anthony. Steveson is a suplex machine like Taz. Gable is legit. Steveson is a beast. Do you know what? They've done what they needed to do, haven't they? They've shown you that match. I think people have been impressed with it. But, I mean, look, everyone's buzzing about Steveson, which, you know, brilliant. So people have seemingly enjoyed the match, but agree it needs a few tweaks, and I agree as well. and people have been massively impressed with Stevenson. I think, you know, they were so... What I mean, I think they will have spoke to people before and said, look, when he does German you, I want you to really jump, man. I want you to really get height. We are going to really try and get over that this guy is different. This guy, you know, because like part of that is his strength, but part of it is them launching themselves as well. And the height that they were getting was just, you couldn't help but be impressed. He looked great. And then that guy at the end that was a monster that was even towering over Stevenson. I think he grabs him and I think he goes, right, you ready? Or something like this. Like there is a moment where they go, oh, and like you know, there's a bit of, you know, it wasn't, let's just say it was a little see-through in places, but that is nitpicky. It was great. It was great. And it's worked, innit? People are buzzing about Stevenson. James Hayes, shout out to you. Daze, it was Kale Dixon, Tavern, Heights. Miles Bourne from NXT Level Up didn't recognize the other. Kale Dixon, Tavian Heights, and Miles Bourne. James, shout out to you. Miles Bourne rings a bell. The other two don't ring a bell. But yeah, I'm guessing we're going to see certainly that big guy. We're going to see a lot more of him. Kappa, shout out to you. Says, my neighbor's fireworks are annoying me. But Days, I feel like we're eating good. Gable surprised me with the Brock Germans. JC looks fire, says Kappa Owens. Yeah, I was saying this yesterday on Raw. I was saying to people, and I probably should say even more, but if you don't watch NXT, I really think if you give it a go, you will get something from it that you enjoy. I think if you think that, say, I think it was like nearly 1.9 some that watched Raw. I don't know about last night. I'm talking about the week before. But whatever that number is, 1.8, 1.7, whatever it might be. And then you think that NXT gets like 600,000. Like, more people need to watch this show. It's in a really good place at the moment. And I think if people just gave it a chance, they would really enjoy it. I can't imagine too many people watching that NXT Underground match and being a bit like, nah, not for me. There might be some that say that, but I thought it was really good. Kian said, have you seen a clip of Logan and Ricochet fighting backstage after the ladder match? Yeah, I think it was shown on Raw last night. Just before Ricochet did his little interview. I know NXT Underground will be controversial, but it's trying something new, which I can appreciate, said Big Time. Dysfunction said, HBK has done a really good job with booking NXT. The presentation of NXT Underground really impressed me. James said, you not that surprised I knew them? I'm not surprised at all. I don't think anyone would be surprised. I'd be surprised if you didn't know them, James. Kim said, I'm kind of sad that the Lone Wolf is done. It was a great gimmick, and it had a great theme music and a great logo. Oh, here's Stacks. What the hell happened? No, the other thing. What's this? What's happening now? You made a deal with the rat. Not sure about this. You're in here. This was my decision. You've got to live with it. Goodbye, Don. Okay, so what we saw last week was we heard a tape from Stax saying, you know, let's come to an arrangement. I think we can come up with something that's going to work for the both of us. Joe played that to Tony, and so it seemed like he was being betrayed. What we've now found out this week is that Stax isn't betraying Tony. He's not turned his back on Tony. What he's actually done is he's agreed to a match. If Stax wins, the charges will be dropped. If Joe Coffey wins, Tony looks like he's going to get sent down for a long time. So this story is like twisted and turned. And so we've had another little swerve. I really liked where we were going last week with Stax. What we thought was Stax betraying Tony, and he was now going to be the new Don and all that kind of stuff. This little swerve here, I mean, it's not that it doesn't make sense. It's just not as good. It's just not as good. I feel like we were teased something that was really interesting, and now we've swerved to a direction that's just not as interesting. So, like, for me, I'm not a massive fan of that. But it's going to set up a match for next week of Joe Coffey against Stax. And there is something very much at stake. What's going to happen to Tony? Right, let's change this over. And we're already 20 minutes into the second part of this show. Lyra Valkyria versus Jayne, I think. Yeah, that's how you spell it. We still have got loser leaves NXT. Edward said, Daze, honest answer, with Hunter in charge of creative, do you think if Wesley gets called up, he'll be a future world champion in some way, or mid-card? I think mid-card. I said at the start of the year I was struggling to see him as a solo competitor. I was still seeing him as one half of MSK. I think they've done a really good job this year. He's been on all the major shows. He's constantly wanted to defend that title. He's held it a long time as well. I definitely see him as a singles competitor now. But he is a Ricochet type. He is on the smaller side. He's fast-paced, like quite aerial. And, it's hard to look at those kinds of people and see world champion, because there's not a long list of people like that. Ricochet is like nowhere near that. And obviously we had Ray. I mean, Ray's probably the most famous example, but you need to be that kind of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles. You need to be not that kind of small. I mean, like, some of those aren't the biggest, but I'd say Wesley's smaller than them. And is a lot more aerial focused. So it's just hard to look at someone like Wesley. It's hard to look at someone like Axiom. It's hard to look at someone like Ricochet and see potential world champions, because they are not traditionally the people that they put the world titles on. Could that change under Hunter? Sure, but it hasn't changed yet. So the proof will be in the pudding. Why can't they bring back Nash Carter? He apologized for the picture and the allegations were fake, so why not? I don't know if the allegations were found to be fake, to be honest. I think that's still a like he said, she said situation, and clearly the picture isn't fake. So I don't know. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I think the picture's a problem that's obviously always going to be there and is always going to haunt him. And is a real stupid thing for him to have done. But, you know, listen, who doesn't make mistakes in life, right? And as long as those aren't beliefs that he has, and it was just him taking a stupid picture, because, you know, the alternative could be that he is a fully signed up member of, like, you know, some sort of fascist organization, right? So WWE have got sponsors to think about, advertisers to think about. So you can understand them just not wanting that smoke. And then, like, on top of that, you then add the allegations. Again, I think you can understand why they parted ways with him. So I don't know what the truth is on all of that. I don't know if WWE know what the truth is on all of that. And to be perfectly honest, in this day and age, there are so many people that want to get to NXT and want to be wrestlers and want that opportunity. You can't afford to get into the situations that he got into. You can't afford to give WWE a reason to cut you, because they will just cut you. You know, they will just cut you because they've got plenty of people that they can turn to, that they can invest in, that you know, is going to be less problematic. So it's very unfortunate. You know, people should be able to get, like, second chances and everything. I am a big believer in that, but I am also very aware that there's sponsors, advertisers, you know, that that is their bread and butter. Hopefully Vince will be gone before Wes hits the main roster, said Zoom Station. We missed halftime. Yeah, we do tend to when it comes to NXT, because I don't think they do the commercial breaks bang on halftime, so it can be a bit tricky. Jey Uso Roman for undisputed title at SummerSlam, said Danny. Kim said, I don't know about small guys not winning world titles. Mustafa Ali was supposed to be in Kofi's place at WrestleMania 35. That's not true. And win because Brian requested him. He was taken out because of Orton's injury. No, he was meant to be in the gauntlet match, but I've never seen any news that he was meant to win that match and go on to compete for the title and everything. But he was meant to be in the gauntlet match. Plus, even if he was, and even if he was going to go on to win that world title, he would still be the exception, because I can sit here and list a hell of a lot of names of big guys that have been champion, and I'll compare that to your list of smaller guys that have been champion, and I'm pretty sure that mine's going to be healthier, because it's just common knowledge, isn't it? Vince always goes for the look, always wants the bigger guys. This is why there was that, you know, that barrier that was kind of there. This is why the cruiserweight division was set up, because it was felt that you wasn't going to be able to break through and get to that next level under Vince. As I said before, under Triple H, that might change. Under Triple H, we might see that go in a different direction. But there's been no evidence of it at the moment. Still early doors, though, of course, because he's not been able to take the title off Roman, and he's not been able to like do much with that new title, because Seth only got it like a month or so ago. So we'll see where it goes. JC with a cannonball into the corner. If Baron Corbin goes back to who he was before the Lone Wolf, no, well, he says no gimmicks. Brony said, who have you got winning, Logan or Ricochet? I've got Logan winning, considering he's been losing a lot. Sure, go Logan. Seth's not that big. He's bigger than Wes. Who do you think will win the tag match? Who will win the tag match? The tag match tonight? I don't know, you know. I think that it's been teased that it could be the Dyad that go. Like, Joe Gacy was kind of teasing that it might be the Dyad. But I can tell you that we've had 260 votes, and it's 50-50 in the poll right now. Drop kick by Lyra to JC. JC goes down. Coach Co said, soak popcorn kernels in water for 10 minutes, then drain and pop as normal. The theory is that the extra moisture helps produce fluffier puffs. Facts, Coach Co. Shout out to you. I like that. Soak popcorn kernels in water for 10 minutes. Right, we got JC back in the corner and kick coming in by JC. Step up in Zaguri by Lyra Valkyria. JC trying to get back up to her feet. Lyra with a kick. She's very good with her strikes. 1, 2, 3, and she gets the win. So Lyra picks up the victory over JC. She's got a little mark on her face. JC attacks her after. That's a good win, that is, for Lyra. JC, obviously one half of Toxic Attraction, been around for a long time. And I know she's not been a singles competitor, but to get a win over her is good. She's ripping the wings of Lyra. Destroying the sacred feathers. The sacred feathers have been destroyed. So JC attacking after. Here's Noam Dar. Is he talking to the Heritage Cup? You complete me? It's a picture of Heritage Cup. We got to take care of this, says Lash. It's heartbroken. It's been dragged away from the Heritage Cup. Here's Kiana. I love these little backstage things. They feel... Is this her office? Bony. Someone's trashed her office. You can never outrun your past, Gigi. So Gigi trashes Kiana's office. We gone back to the ringside area. We got Big Body Harvey, Javier Bernal, and Von Wagner. Into the barricades goes Javier Bernal. Looking for a power bomb. What time are we looking at? We got half an hour left to go. Obviously, we got the tag match still to come. Von Wagner. I don't know what this is. It's Von Wagner and Javier Bernal. I'm guessing this is a match, is it? If it is, we've joined it. Like, whilst it's... No, Robert Stone's telling him not to chuck Javier Bernal into the crowds. Crowd are chanting for tables. Obviously, there's been a bit of a break since the Underground match. Oh, we did get Lyra, didn't we, I suppose? They did well to get those ring ropes back on quite quick. Now, oh no, the sweets again. Vic Joseph's sweets. Power bomb through the table goes Javier Bernal. Von Wagner, power bombs. Big body Harvey. Crowder cheering Von Wagner. I don't know what this is. I don't know what I'm watching. I don't think it's a match. Got another segment here. Oh, it's these two. Nima and Price. They've been teasing these two for a little while. Bronco Nima. This could be interesting. Nash Carter, Zach Wentz is in Impact, says James. Ray said, feels like WWE knows ratings will be lower this week. They're just doing some random stuff. Nima and Price next week. Right, here is Schism then. So this is going to be our main event. Loser leaves NXT. Now, last time we saw it was 50-50. Right now, 51% for the Creeds, 49% for the Dyad. That's where we are. Zoom Station said fake Usos. Okay, we've got Schism. But feels like WWE. No, oh, we read that. I was worried someone is going to get a pencil in the back on those spots, said Chris. Here's Diamond Mine. Let me change this at the bottom. Maybe DQ and no one leaves. It'd have to be like a double DQ, wouldn't it? Double count out. Here's Diamond Mine. Bats gets into the ring then. So Schism in the ring. Dyad against Creeds. Loser leaves NXT. Will they be leaving WWE altogether? Or could we see someone going to the main roster? Right, well, Creeds have been jumped. I think if Creeds lose, they almost certainly go to the main roster. If the Dyad lose, there's so many things we could do. They could leave altogether. They could leave and come back as grizzled young veterans. Because it's the Dyad that have gone. They could leave and go to the main roster as the Dyad. So I think there's more that we could do if Dyad lose. So my guess is Dyad lose. Oh, Gacy making the save, though. Gacy made the save. Oh, and Gacy's been removed from ringside. So Creeds versus Dyad, and Gacy is out of there because he interfered. He grabbed the leg. So Gacy has been removed from ringside. That could be pivotal in this. I don't know if Ava's got to go as well, though. If Ava's still out there, then obviously they can still do something. But there's a fair few of those yellow masks in the crowd. I'm guessing they sell those. The show is recorded. According to reports, Underground match actually closed the show during tapings. Oh. Sucks watching a match when you already know the results. Oh, I don't know the results. I don't want to know the results. Austin said Creed should be NXT tag champs again before being called up. TNT spots on July Raw, a new name sports channel, says Matthew. When did Creeds leave Diamond Mine and start feuding with Diamond Mine? They aren't. I need to change that to Dyad. Should have been. This referee is not having it. There we go. Yeah, if it is recorded, any spoilers, and you're done. You will be blocked. Because what's the point in coming in and putting spoilers in the chat? If this is, I didn't even know this bit was recorded. I thought this was all live. So if it is pre-recorded, if you are going to ruin it for people, you're not wanted on the channel, right? That might seem a bit moody, but it's even moodier coming on and putting spoilers for a show that's already happened in it. Because all you're doing is you're just ruining it for people, which sucks. Man United Hod said, just to let you know, you've put Diamond Mine instead of Dyad. Man United Hod, shout out to you. BT Sport leaves Sky on July 18th and will be TNT. Zoom Station said, banished. Yes. What's the? I just don't get it. I don't understand. I really don't understand what the point would be of us sitting here watching this show for someone to jump into the chat and just type it in and put in, this is the result. What purpose does that serve? It doesn't make anyone that's typing it look clever because you've seen the results. Well done. Well done. I could go and find the results in 2 seconds. So it's not clever. All you're doing is just ruining it for people, which is really disrespectful. I mean, look, if it's people outside the community that are just jumping in and are going to do that, there's not really much way of stopping that, unfortunately. But if you're someone that's in the community, you should definitely know better. Right, and certainly for a match like this that really matters as well, This is a match that's got some riding on it. If it was just like earlier, Tate and Paxley against that Jordan woman, maybe that doesn't matter as much, but this is loser leaves NXT. Shame that it's taped, innit? Shame. Right, let's go. Let's see how this plays out. I genuinely don't know who wins. Right. My guess would be that the Creeds win. That would be my guess. And as I said, what I'm basing that on is the fact that I think if the Dyad go, I think there's a lot of different things you can do with them. They could go and come back as grizzled young veterans. They could go to the main roster as Dyad. They could go to the main roster as grizzled young veterans. There's obviously been reports as well that they want out. They want gone from NXT. So as soon as it was announced, my gut feeling was, this is how we're going to get rid of the Dyad. So if it turns out that the Creeds lose this, I will be surprised, but I will also be excited because I think that means they go to the main roster. So Man United Hodge said, good to see you. Don't know if you saw, we've signed Mounts. What are your thoughts on that? Spoilers not welcome here. Thoughts on Mount? I like Mount. I think he's a good squad player. I don't know if he's going to be like a key starter. I can't say I'm as excited for him as I was when we got Casemiro. But listen, you need a squad in this day and age. And obviously we're going to be playing in the Champions League. He's someone that's very good at closing down, pressing. Ten Hag wanted him. Bottom line is Ten Hag wanted him. So if Ten Hag wants him, get him. So is he someone I would have gone for? I think, to be honest, yeah, I can see why you would have him, but I think I would have wanted a striker first, you know? Simon, shout out to you, dude. Simon says, Time Warner brought BT Sports, and all that was happening was on the 18th of July, BT will still be on Sky. It's changing its name to TNT, and so was Eurosport, because Time Warner owns both Eurosport and BT Sports. Simon with the inside information. Shout out to you, bud. Really appreciate the support, Simon. I hope you've been enjoying NXT tonight. AWC Legend said, everyone loves the Wheel of Fun days. Certainly do. I mean, they haven't loved it since 2020, I don't think. That's a deep cut right there, AWC. That's one of them deep cuts. Knee strike by Julius. Ava has stayed out at ringside. United will do good next season, said AWC. Again, down goes Rip Fowler. Ivy Nile at ringside. Ava at ringside. We've still got plenty of time. Oh, we've still got the Bron Breakker segment. So we still need to hear from Bron Breakker. Super kick. I'm surprised this didn't just flat out close the show, to be honest. 1, 2, kick out. I feel like this is going to eat up a lot of time, so it's probably not, we're probably not going to get the finish just yet. Shot. Pin. 1, 2, kick out. Shoulder up. So Dyads are in control at the moment. I like the fact that there are people in the crowd that are wearing the masks. Shot coming in by Jagger Reed. You want to leave? Jagger's saying to Julius, you want to leave, which is ironic because he's the one that wants to leave. Reed is up and powerbomb. Down he goes. Julius with the cover. But Rip Fowler comes in and makes the save. Did you get to the flight out from yesterday? I did, yeah. I did. I sprayed it and I never saw it again, so I think it's now deceased. This isn't wrestling related, but I'm happy that Disney brought Doctor Who. I will not pay extra for Disney Plus to see it. It's just like not going to pay extra for Peacock. This isn't Disney, but I'm not happy Disney bought Doctor Who. I didn't even know they did. I haven't heard anything that they've bought it like totally outright. Ten Hag wanted Mount at Ajax when he was the manager of them. Am I the only one that thinks Jagger Reed looks like Alex Reynolds? No, there is a passing similarity, definitely. So we are gone to commercial break, and big shout out to Simon. Really appreciate the support, dudes. Really appreciate the support. As I said, I hope you are enjoying the show, and we got 14 minutes and then the overrun. We are at commercial break. It is this match and then Bron Breakker. We're going to find out what Bron's got to say. He obviously was seen last week bursting out of Shawn Michaels' office. AWC Legend said, what's your favorite Mania from 30 to 39? I would say 30. 30. I don't think it's even close. I think 39, day 1 was good. Day 2 was just a little step down. Not as much of a step down as 38, which I think the first night was amazing. That hour where like Cody comes back and everything, and Bianca and Becky. Was amazing. I remember being really bubbling, and then the second night again underwhelmed. So I think 38, 39 are both really strong. I think they're good additions to WrestleManias. I think 37. I don't even know if I've gone back and never watched 37 since 37 happened. But obviously there was the rain delay, which was pretty fun. I can't remember masses of things that stood out from that. I mean, I remember the main event of night 1 being Bianca and Sasha, and that was great. But I can't really remember any other like fantastic matches on that card. I think the main event of the whole thing was Roman, Bryan Daniel Bryan and Edge. And I thought that was okay, but I mean, it's probably one of the weaker Roman matches in truth. So, I mean, like 37, it was just good to have people. I feel like 37 is just getting the crowd back. 37 is, oh my God, people, you know? 36 is obviously no crowds. It's just literally getting by. There's a couple of matches in there that are good. Boneyard's great. And Rhea and Charlotte is great. But to be honest, the rest of it is it's not really much else there. It's just quirky. 36 is quirky and it will never be forgotten. 35's too long. 34, I would say, is probably... is it my second favorite of those ones? Don't know. It's in the running. I like 34. I like the stage. I think that's where Asuka's kind of streak comes to the end to Charlotte. Main event, I think, was Roman Brock. 33, you get the return of the Hardys. That's cool. 32, I think, sucks. I really don't rate... I think 32 might be the worst out of all of them. Really don't rate 32. 31's very good, but I just think it's the wrong people win. It's just a whole list of the wrong people winning. Like, Rusev should have beaten Cena. Bray should have beaten Undertaker. Sting should have beaten Triple H. So it's good, and it's got some great moments, great entrances and whatever. I just think it's a whole load of wrong people winning. So I got to say, for me, if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to pick Daniel Bryan finally winning the belt. I'm going to pick the end of the streak. I'm going to pick The Shield having their last WrestleMania match. I'm going to pick 30 as being the one. I mean, the end of the streak is one of the all-time big WWE moments. The Daniel Bryan winning the title in the main event is one of the all-time big WrestleMania moments. Hogan opening the show and being interrupted by Stone Cold and then being interrupted by The Rock is like one of the all-time WrestleMania moments. Like, that show just delivers. And it's in a shorter package as well. You know, it's one night. It's not crazy long. You've got Daniel Bryan against Triple H to kickstart the show. It's a good little match, that. Good little match. It's solid. I think it's a really solid WrestleMania. So I'm going to go with 30. We are back with the action. And right now the Creeds are in the ring. There's an ankle lock applied. So ankle lock is in. We're seeing Jagger Reed getting up to his feet. Shot coming in. Rip Fowler, going over to the corner. Double knees by Rip Fowler. 1, 2. Shoulder up by the Creeds. Crowd are really quiet here. I mean, the crowd are normally a really good crowd. The NXT crowd. Look how flat and quiet they are. I don't know what's going on. I mean, is it a case that they'd already watched one NXT and this one was taped or something? I don't know. They just seem really flat tonight, the crowds. Forearm strike by Jagger Reeds. Another big shot as Brutus goes over by the ropes. Keep fighting, baby. Julius telling Brutus, keep fighting, baby. Julius telling Brutus that he loves him Another forearm strike. Brutus getting up to his feet. Clothesline. Reed turned upside down, inside out. Tag being made. In comes Julius, but Fowler comes over, grabs the leg of Brutus. Forearm strike. Don't know what we're looking at here. We've got Brutus on the shoulders of Rip Fowler on the outside. In the ring. Going for a suicide dive. Oh. Brutus is down on the outside. Julius in the ring. Well, they can't win the match on the outside. One down. 18 years. So Brutus looks like he's been dealt with, to be honest. Julius fighting away. He's having to try and battle both of the Dyad at the moment. Lovely suplex by Julius. Kip up by Julius. Oh, his leg's given out. His leg's given out. He's trying to go up top. He's going to look for a moonsault. Moonsault lands on both the Dyad. Now Ava getting into the ring. Ava's having a word. Ivy's jumped in. Ivy, referee's losing control. Who's that in a red hoodie? Someone in a red hoodie. But is that going to be Gacy? Someone in a red hoodie just headbutted. Oh, it's all happening. Brutus is down. Julius is down. They're in trouble. Double knees. Creeds are in trouble. Dyad, 1, 2, 3, and the Dyad win. Creeds have lost. Ivy can't believe it. Someone in a red hoodie has interfered. I can only presume they looked to be the size of Gacy. But the Creeds have lost. Simon said, as a fan for 37 years of Man United, Mount isn't my choice. But if Ten Hag wants him, I will support him. What do you think about the takeover process? I think it's been way too long. I think the takeover process has been really, really dragged out. It's been a bit flat, a bit disappointing. Obviously wanted to get this sorted before the transfer window. I agree with you. Mount isn't really like my top pick, if you will. I'd feel a lot happier if we'd signed, say, Kane, and then we signed Mount. But Ivy Niles got tears in her eyes. Man, that's pretty exciting, isn't it? That the Creeds could be on their way. So yeah, Simon, I agree with you. It's not my top pick. It's not the person that I'm like bubbling about. I'd be bubbling a lot more if we had signed Kane and then we signed Mount, because then all of a sudden you're really starting to see like the spine of the team really coming together. But I'll take it. As long as we end up with the striker at the end of the transfer window. Right, let's do a quick video because this is pretty major news, and it could be major news that's going to really affect the main roster. Let's go over to... Let's go over to... If you go back, you see red hoodie guy running up the steps, said Justin. I like the Creeds. I like the Creeds. As I said, this could have big repercussions for the main roster because I'm guessing that's where they're going. Certainly I'm not expecting them to leave WWE. I wasn't expecting them to win. The Bandit strikes again. Oh, hello. Hello, you got some little wobbles. We've got some wobbles. Are we doing all right? We're all right for lag, in all fairness. Right, hopefully we are back. We just lost everything there momentarily, and I have no idea if we're back or not. Right now we've got Bron Breakker in the ring. They're saying that show with him and Seth was the most watched NXT show for the past few years. It was a war. So he's talking about beating Seth. Or trying to. I can't stress enough how close I was to pinning the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I was just a fraction of a second away. He's had 78 matches in his career. Seth Rollins has had more premium live event matches than I have, periods. Everything I've done has been right here in this building. I hope we're live. I can't see the chat. I mean, we did just crash and lose everything, but we're trying to finish this stream off. What is Bron going to say? I'm 25 years old. I mean, that is no age, in all fairness. 25 is nothing. Get used to seeing this face for decades to come. What next? Feel like we're going to find out. What next for Bron Breakker? Ilya Dragunov makes his way out. I'm here for this. Next in line is me, says Ilya. Next in line is me. And I love Ilya. Came out to let you know. I came out to eliminate you. You're standing in the ring with the most dangerous man in NXT. They aren't really fighting shoes that he's wearing, in all fairness. Those, like, loafers. But we've got Bron and Ilya brawling. Just before this, we did hear from Finn Balor. It seems like Finn Balor is ready to accept. The Dragunov is here. Right there, throwing in shots. Oof, little upcut there by Bron Breakker. Was it Gacy in the Red Hood? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. I can see, let them fight, said Davids. So we've got a big brawl. On the outside, it's Dragunov and Bron. Not what I was expecting, to be honest. Take it, because I love Ilya. He's absolutely one of my favorite competitors. So I'm certainly here for it, but I don't know. They'd made such a big deal out of it. They'd made such a big thing out of it. Like, this had closed the show that I sort of felt like it was going to be something a bit... I don't want to say bigger, because that's doing Ilya a disservice, but not what. Let's just say it's not what I was expecting. Looks like the chat is not willing to play ball. NXT was awesome, said Simon. That's how you end a show, says Kieran. Great American Bash Bron versus Dragunov. Kim said, why didn't the locker room ever get in breaking up brawls anymore on the main roster? Only refs and security. I think they save it just for, like, really big moments, like, you know, like Brock moments. It's one of those where when it happens, it means something. It's quite significant. It's kind of fun when people do come down and we do, like, separate using the locker room, but it is also something that I think it's right to be used, like, sparingly. What do you think Bron was about to announce? I don't know. I don't know what he was about to announce. It probably wasn't going to be anything, but it definitely. I mean, that segment felt like it was going to be something fairly big. I don't think there ever was anything. I think it obviously always was designed that it would be Ilya that interrupted. But, yeah, as I said, not a problem. I'll take it. Certainly coming into this, I didn't think that's what it was going to be, though. I miss Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, said Kim. Justin said 8 out of 10 for the Underground match. Well, let's get scores. It's always... a pleasure, never a chore when we're watching NXT. Shame that seemingly these results were already out there, though. That's, you know, that's not something that I hope we do on a regular basis. Daze, read this. For the 4-5 made love to 3 blind mice and a dying chicken, says William. I mean, I'd imagine you did that on the 3rd, the 2nd, and the 1st as well. Black Fabio said, sounds like he was going to say he was going to the main roster. Carlo Ancelotti is the next Brazil manager. Oh. Well, that doesn't strike me as great news for England, but because they've got one hell of a team and now they've got one hell of a manager. Oh. Well, hopefully he's out of touch now. And that's not good news for England, though, is it? One of the most successful managers of all time going to manage one of the best squads in world football. Serious Gaming said, Ilya and Bron should be a great story. After this, Bron probably will go to the main roster. Common Live said, I'm giving NXT tonight an 8 out of 10. July 4th, the day back in 1776 where my home country, the United States, gained its independence. Jedam said, happy 4th of July to everybody. LB said, what actor was your favourite Doctor Who? I don't watch Doctor Who, but don't watch it. I think Doctor Who was on in the 60s, 70s, 80s, right? It's not on, I think I'm right in saying, in like the 90s. And 90s is when I grew up. So if it had been like on TV and kids at school had spoken about it, I probably would have given it a watch and got into it. But it wasn't on TV when I was growing up. There might have been some repeats buried away on a channel somewhere, but it kind of gets a bit of a relaunch in the early 2000s with, is it Simon Eccleston? Can't remember. It gets a relaunch in the early 2000s. But I mean, by that point, you know, I'm probably, it's probably not for me. It's, you know, there's a lot of kids that are really into it. I think the people that really get into it are kids and then adults that remember it from back in the day. It's not really something that adults tend to watch and just get into here in the UK. It might be different abroad, but here it's, I suppose in a way, it's like wrestling. You don't tend to find too many adults that get into wrestling once they're older. They're either into it as kids or they were into it and then they come back, get back into it, you know? So it just wasn't really, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't on when I was young. So I didn't have that emotional connection to it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know who the Daleks are and I know who the Cybermen are. I could name some of the Doctors. You just sort of, you know, you hear things and I know a few bits. It's so big and popular that some of the stuff's kind of definitely gone into like popular culture. But no, I'm not the right person to be talking about like favorite episodes and all that kind of stuff. Although, what I would say is I did watch an episode because I'd heard really good stuff about it. And it happened to be on. I was flicking through the channels and it was on. And it was an episode about Rosa Parks. And it was like Doctor Who, the woman doctor, Jodie Foster. She had gone back in time accidentally and they'd gone to that period. And so it was a way of telling that story. And there was a lot of appreciation for that episode. People were like, it was really well done, you know, told a story that, you know, needs to be told. And I watched that. I enjoyed that. I thought it was really good. I thought it was done well. Yeah. I think Bron was going to announce he's going to the main roster and we will wait a few weeks and then he will attack someone like Drew or Gunter at SummerSlam, said Bembo. Kieran said, good to see Dana Brooke coaching Kalani Jordan. Serious Gaming said, I enjoyed the live streams from London. Yeah, stressful, to be honest. I was talking on the web about that. So loved meeting people. It was such a pleasure to do. But definitely, you know, I'm talking to people and there's kids in particular that want to say hello on the stream. And all you can see is the red light in the corner because the Wi-Fi's trash. So you can see the little red light in the corner and you're just like, oh, please don't like not capture this. I'd hate for the kids to go back and try and find themselves and it's just not there. So that was a little bit stressful. And, you know, there's obviously going to be times where I'm talking to people and like I'm not in shot or I'm too far away from the mic and the sound. You know, I was thinking about, right, what are the people able to watch at the moment? You know, Miss Clown was jumping on, AP was jumping on, Wrestle with Andy jumped on. So I was always thinking about what are people at home watching? What can they see right now? But yeah, I mean, it was just, I think the best way to look at it is we did the best we could. It was a bit of a casual, it was a bit of a bonus ball, wasn't it? It just gave you a taste. It gave you a glimpse as to what it was like at Wrestling Shop, the kind of things that were going on, the kind of conversations that were being had. And the feedback of it has been really, really good. I mean, also I'd say is if we do a Wrestling Shop again, we will 100% do that. 100% do the streams. I think it did go very well. Definitely, I would want to improve the lighting a bit. I'd want to improve the sound. I think we did on the second day improve the sound a lot. I went out and bought a microphone specifically. So we improved the sound. I think we could improve the lighting. And I don't know if we could improve the Wi-Fi, to be honest, but we would try. So, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as well. Bring back AP. Well, Miss Clown actually gave me his Instagram details because I didn't have them. So I am actually going to reach out to him over the next couple of days and we'll try and get him onto the pod very soon. People who watched all day have got no life, said James. I could understand it, though. It's a bit like cricket in a way, in the sense of it's something that's happening and different things are happening all the time. You know, there was a chat with D'Lo, there was a chat with Bill. There was obviously different fans that were coming in, like of wrestling, and like people could jump on the stream, different conversations being had. Rich was jumping on as well. You just never quite knew. I didn't know what was going to happen next. I had a great chat with a guy that had his face painted all in as a Union flag, and he was talking to me about what it's like being a referee as a referee for a independent promotion. So even some of the conversations I was having was like, you know, we did a bit of a look around and everything. So I can understand, like, it's just something that you pop on and you just sort of have in the backgrounds. I think that's cool. And as I said, you know, definitely look to do that again. Definitely look to do that again next time. And hopefully there will be a next time. Jodie Foster played the Doctor. The woman Doctor was Jodie Whittaker. That one. Creed's in the drive-thru. Serious Gaming said, was your eating schedule hard? There wasn't an eating schedule. I didn't really eat, but to be honest, I wasn't hungry. So, like, I would get up. To be honest, I didn't have anything. But then saying that, you know, I mean, we're not strangers to doing long streams. So I think the one day was like 11 hours. That was pretty long. That was, you know, I mean, that was pretty long. We have done Olympic streams that have gone over 12. But the first day was 11 and a half. Second day, I started it a little bit later because, to be honest, the figures weren't being revealed till 10. So really, it wasn't kicking off till a little later on the Friday. And it makes sense because you just knew that everyone would be around past lunchtime. And then it would die as it got to SmackDown. So that one went, I think, 8.5 hours, that one. But I mean, again, you know, we do 7.5 hour UFC streams where I ain't eating. So it didn't cross my mind. I mean, Rich brought a few sandwiches over and whatever. But to be honest, I mean, the one day I didn't eat them till I was back at the hotel. And the second day, I still haven't eaten them, and I think it's in the fridge upstairs. So actually, if that's in date, I might have it now. Because he bought me a sandwich. I just put it in my bag, and I thought I'll have that on the train. I never got round to having it on the train. And as soon as I got back, I put it in the fridge, and I haven't even thought about it. It's almost certainly out of date now. Almost certainly out of date. But if it's not, then I might go and have it now. I'm located in Indiana. I'm watching NXT in Highland, Indiana, instead of Hammond, Indiana, says Carmen Live. James said, I was too busy watching us get whipped by the Aussies. Tremaine said, YouTube Subaru changed his Colgate toothpaste to one with spermicide to get magnets out of his teeth. Breaking news. Karen Gillan was on Doctor Who, then went to greater fame in Jumanji and Guardians of the Galaxy. James said, who cares? Doctor Who is trash. Right. -5 stars on NXT tonight, says Helen. My ex was obsessed with Doctor Who, said AB. Can't wait to see the Creeds at McDonald's, says Tim. Ruining a sandwich someone gave you is rude, said Austin. I never asked for him. He was constantly like, you need to eat, you've got to have this. I mean, lovely guy, lovely gesture, but yeah, I was all right. I was doing okay. And as I said, I'll benefit from it now if it's still in date. So lovely. Right, we're done. NXT I thought was pretty fun. Little strange, little bit like, the Underground match and then followed by, I mean, there's constantly loads of little backstage things. I do find sometimes with NXT, I have to do a lot of listening to try and catch some of the talking. There's a lot of talking, which is good. I mean, it's not a problem, but it's sometimes makes it a little bit weird pacing wise. Like you've got, like the NXT Underground match was just nothing but action. And then you have to kind of stop and listen to, Tony and Stacks or whatever it might be. But I thought this was a pretty solid episode. I don't think it was quite as spectacular as obviously what we saw with Gold Rush or whatever. But for a Tuesday night watch, still very, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. Little concern that we had a little crash towards the end, to be honest. That wasn't lag. That was actually this software just freezing, which I've not had before. I'm pleased that's happened on an NXT and not a Money in the Bank, for example, but not great that that's happened at all, to be honest. Maybe I'm just asking a little bit too much of the streaming software. I don't know. I shouldn't be. It's not like I've got loads of things that I'm asking it to do. But I don't know. Maybe I could probably delete some of these sources and bits. I don't know. I'll have a look at it. But appreciate the support. We are back again tomorrow for AEW. I'm going to go off and eat that sandwich as long as it's in date. Get my little review done. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.